Hi, everyone. This is Rena with your Bliss Bite. Today, I had this most profound insight during Satanama meditation. And the insight was this. I've been on a journey for 7 years now on a spiritual path. I started this path because of a health crisis that almost killed me, which put me on a path of leading an incredibly disciplined life like a monk, which then led to me clearing out all that prevents us from connecting with God, with consciousness. That led to me connecting with beings outside of this dimension, being able to see things, hear things telepathically, connect with other dimensions, travel to different dimensions. I've shared all of this in my book with Monica, Path of Light. One of my biggest challenges in the last, I'd say, 3 years has been that after having reached incredible heights of bliss where I didn't want to come back, I wanted to stay there, and then having to come back into this reality, which is very dense, very dark, very conflict filled, very painful because you watch a lot of pain being inflicted, even me inadvertently hurting people, hurting things, and then feeling very upset about it. So today, I got the answer to the question of where is God? Who is God? Do you want to know who is God and where is God? We are bathed in God. When you breathe in, you are breathing in God. When they say God is inside us, it's been a concept very difficult for me to understand. What do you mean God is inside us? Clearly, God is not inside us. One of the things that this conference in Sedona helped me also really clarify and for my own self is the concept of God and consciousness, right? What is God? What is consciousness? God, the way I define it, is consciousness. There is nothing but consciousness. It's all aware consciousness that creates everything and destroys everything from this consciousness. From this massive consciousness that is powerful and capable of everything and anything and of being nothing and of being everything comes aspects of this consciousness as light. And then from that light come little denser beings. And then from that little denser beings come denser existence. And then from that denser existence, it gets more and more dense. So really consciousness exists as a scale from nothing to extremely dense Earth, as an example. And Earth is not the only planet, and we are not the only dense beings. There are billions of dense existences, and there are uncountable dense beings because consciousness is creating things that are dense that then merge into things that are light. But we must understand that all that exists comes from nothing into something that is very, very dense. So that's the spectrum. We as humans fall in the spectrum, as I would say, between what we call angelic beings and animals, right? So there's rocks, there's plants, then there's animals like dogs and cats. And then there's humans that have what's called self-aware, beginnings of a self-aware consciousness. And then within us human beings, we have a range. We have human beings that are very self-aware, like an Eckhart Tolle, for example. I love him. But we also had Jesus Christ, and we have um, uh, Sri M, obviously Sadhguru, right? So we have within humans, we have a range. We have those that are extremely self-aware, and someone like a Sadhguru who Those of us who've meditated with Sadhguru know that he's really not even there, right? Versus someone in prison for having killed children or eaten humans, right? So we've got those. We've got that spectrum even within humans. And then we have those like a Mahavtar Babaji, which is, he's meant to be pure light, or Saint Germain, pure light. But they can go between light and coming and showing up as a human. And then we've got angelic realm, where they're just angels and they can only appear to people that are at a higher level of consciousness. And then there's angels above angels. And then there is probably beings above them. And then, at this conference, we learned about all kinds of beings that in your lifetime you are going to experience and learn about, like Bashar, the Essasanis. With that said, I have been extremely confused about where is God, because clearly so many people are giving us different routes, right? Sadhguru says, go this way. Sri M says, go that way. Eckhart Tolle says, go on the completely different direction. And there's a million mantras and chants, and Christians go this way and Islam goes that way. And so where is God? And it's really been a struggle for me internally to answer this question, because that's been my quest. I've only had one quest. I don't want to get distracted with beings and angels, and I don't care about powers. I don't want siddhis. I don't want any of this stuff. I just want to meet God. That's been my single-minded focus for 7 years. I just want to meet God. That's the only thing I want. And today in the meditation, as I was breathing in and saying Satanama, I was answered the question by been shown something that I obviously can't share because it won't make sense to you all. But the answer was, I am right here. I am literally in your breath. As you breathe in, you breathe me in, and then I'm in you. Do you not feel me? Do you not hear me? I am right in your breath. And it answered this video that I had watched, where this person, whose name I can't remember, said, when we stop breathing, our body doesn't die. Did you know that? Did you know that if you stop breathing for 4 minutes, your body doesn't die? Your organs don't die. You actually live. You know what dies? Your consciousness dies. We are God. You are God. You are just an extremely dense form of God having an experience, so God can experience a version of God in a storyline that God has created. There is nothing but God. There's nothing else. There is nothing else but God. Isn't that just the most beautiful insight when you realize that there's nowhere to search, there's nowhere to look, there's nothing but God, and you're breathing in God, and God is in you and around you. And so what does that mean for you? What does that mean for me? I can stop my quest as of 9:58 p.m. on Monday. I can stop my quest for God, and I can begin a new chapter of sharing with everyone how to experience and hear and feel the pure love of God. With that said, not everybody cares, not everyone's interested, because as God, you're not interested in maybe meeting God because you're like, I already know I'm God. That's not my interest. I am here on this journey of experiencing these storylines. But with that said, what this means for you, my dear friend, is that when I look at you, when you look at me, it's just God looking at God. And tonight, when you go to sleep in the lap of God. And when you wake up in the morning and you look at the sun, well, that's God. And you get in the car and you drive, well, that's also God. And you meet a coworker who you dislike a lot, that's still God. and you meet your boss who's giving you a raise, well, that's also God. There's nothing but God, which means if you change your perspective, like mine has changed tonight, and you realize that every single thing you do is just God looking at God and God experiencing God, then how can you not change your complete life? And how can you not realize that you are living in love, in perfect health, in perfect abundance, in perfect beauty? Because God is all of that. And if you're not seeing the perfect beauty in you and you're not seeing the perfect abundance you have, it's because it's just a storyline that God is exploring through you. So why not just enjoy the journey of experiencing a temporary lack, an artificial disease? Whatever it is, it's not real because you are perfect and you are God. And I love you because you are me and I am you.